Ugh, cedar is not the fastest lighting herb. Which is not a good thing when you're in a rush to get to school. But I'll film first. Hey, it's Marin, and this is the 2020 yearly forecast for Cancer risings. So we're going to start out with the astrology, what's going on transit-wise for you, and important dates and times in this next upcoming year. Then we will consult the tarot cards, the oracle deck cards, and the law of attraction cards so that we get a lot of insight for Cancer risings. So we'll start out looking at the slower moving planets, because the slower moving planets will indicate where some concentrated energy is in your life. So at the end of 2019, Jupiter moved from Sagittarius in your 6th house into Capricorn in your 7th house. And Jupiter is the planet of expansion and optimism and opportunity, knowledge coming to that area of life. So for you, it entered your Capricorn 7th house of relationships and partnerships. You can expect this next upcoming year to have more expansive situations or more large-scale opportunities coming into one-on-one partnerships in your life. And I know that area of life has been really targeted for a lot of transformation and crisis over the past few years, and this will be kind of like the pimple on top of the boil of the exaggerated situations finally opening up for you to delve into. So Jupiter will also be sextile Neptune and Pisces in your 9th house. This is indicating that some expansion in your relationships is allowing you to go after some dreams regarding foreign travel, higher education, or pursuing philosophy or authority in your life in general. And some dates where that will be specifically intact are February 20th, July 27th, and October 12th. Also, Jupiter will conjoin Pluto in your Capricorn 7th house. This is combining the planet of intense crises and compost and transfiguration with the planet Jupiter, which kind of blows the top off of things and exaggerates things. So you can expect this Jupiter-Pluto conjunction happening exact on April 4th, June 30th, and November 12th to highlight specific themes regarding relationships in your life to kind of blow the lid off and really allow the situation to come to an explosive head, for better or for worse. On May 14th, Jupiter will station retrograde at 27 degrees of Capricorn, and on September 12th, Jupiter will station direct at 17 degrees of Capricorn. So if you have your rising or any other planet or a planet at 27 or 17 of Capricorn, you can expect that to be a particularly involved time and for you really to be in the middle of this collective transformation going on with Capricorn energy. Nearing the end of 2020, seems so far away, but on December 19th, Jupiter will enter Aquarius. So Jupiter at the end of 2020 will move from your 7th house of relationships into your 8th house of shared finances, shared assets, joint assets, things like that. So the lesson or the expansion will move from relationship opportunity into more of shared finances becoming something that's growing in your life. And on December 21st, Jupiter will conjoin Saturn at 0 degrees of Aquarius, which collectively is really hallmarking the beginning of a new thought paradigm and structure in terms of Aquarian energy. For you, this has to do with shared finances. This is more of a lesson that will go into 2021, but you can expect that for most of 2020, the expansion will be in your relationship world, and at the tail end, that will move into shared finances, probably with those you're in relationship with. So let's move on to Saturn now. Saturn is a planet of challenge, boundary, limitation, black and white karma, hard lessons, direct growth. And Saturn has been in your Capricorn 7th house for quite a few years now, almost about 3 years. And on March 21st, Saturn will enter Aquarius in your 8th house, moving the lessons and challenges into beginning to be explored in your shared finances and joint assets. On May 11th, Saturn will station retrograde at 1 degree of Aquarius, and on July 1st, Saturn re-enters Capricorn. So it will be this back and forth motion going from then September 29th, Saturn stationing direct to 25 Capricorn, and then on December 17th, Saturn re-entering Aquarius. So you can expect the lessons to be going back and forth between relationships and the shared bonds and assets as a result of those, which go hand in hand. And if you have anything around 25 Capricorn, whether it's your descendant, the opposite from your ascendant, or you have a planet there, you can expect that to be pretty targeted for you. Moving on to Uranus. Uranus is the Great Awakener, Promethean, rebellious, innovative energy that is transiting through your Taurus 11th house. This is bringing unexpected new itchy urges into your area of life of socializing, networking, groups, and alliances. So over the past several years now, there's about 6 years left in this transit, there will be more unexpected take turns and things happening in terms of that area of your life, expecting the unexpected in the ways that are kind of expected for you in that area of life. But on January 10th, Uranus will station direct at 2 degrees of Taurus, and on August 15th, Uranus stations retrograde at 10 degrees Taurus. So in the beginning of the year, there will be new lessons being learned, or not lessons with Uranus, it's more new surprises coming up, new breakthroughs happening in your area of shared or groups and networking. And then in August, it will station retrograde to look back on those changes. So if you have anything in early Taurus, 2 or 10 degrees, again, those will be specifically focalized. And the last planet that we will touch on is Pluto, because Pluto will be in your Capricorn 7th house for a few more years, bringing that transformation, the metamorphosis into your area of life of relationships and partnerships. This is really where your soul is exploring its shadow and the depths of what it means to really embody the human experience through those deep partnerships. On April 25th, Pluto will station retrograde at 24 Capricorn, and on October 4th, Pluto stations direct at 22 Capricorn. So if you're descendant, or if you happen to have a planet at early 22 to 24 degrees of Capricorn, expect some one of the blows of Pluto, the deep crisis that calls for a breakdown or a breakthrough to happen. The other planets will be clearing out of Capricorn, so you can expect less of a focalized emergency there, but their transformation is still happening. So now we'll move on to the inner planet retrogrades. When a planet is retrograde, its significations are inverted, reversed, or internalized somehow. So we'll start out with Mercury retrograde times. Mercury retrograde is simply a time where Mercury significations of communication and intellect can be inverted, delayed, reversed. It's a good time for editing, for reworking, for clearing things up. Not a good time to sign contracts or begin any new written projects. So for you, this will happen first February 16th through March 9th through Pisces and Aquarius, between your 9th and 8th houses. So I would watch out for anything you're doing contractually or formality wise regarding shared finances and foreign long distance travel. On June 18th through July 12th, there will be a Mercury retrograde between Leo and Cancer, which are your 2nd and 1st houses. So anything regarding finances, your personal finances, or communication about yourself, this summer especially be wary about plans, what words you're saying, because it's directly involving your 1st house of self. And finally, October 14th through November 3rd, there will be a retrograde, Mercury retrograde, Scorpio and Libra between your 5th and 4th houses. This last one ties up, and be wary about things regarding children, romance, or creativity, and also home, family, and property. So with a Venus retrograde happening May 13th through June 25th in Gemini in your 12th house, be wary about being your own worst enemy and revisiting yourself, undoing patterns regarding relationships or harmony or women in your life. With a Venus retrograde, all of those things are up to delay or reversal. So do be wary, because the 12th house can be things hidden from us. It can also be the place of exile. It does have to do with more deep meditative states. So it's a good time maybe to meditate on relationship topics, not to, revisit some old flame out of distraction. Finally, there's a Mars retrograde this fall from September 9th to November 13th in your Aries 10th house. So be wary about initiating any new projects or any new conflict, anything new that is decisive or divisive in terms of career this fall. And the last astrology thing we will touch on are the eclipses. Eclipses are the times of focalized energy for where things are evolving in your chart towards new paradigms of that area of life. This is a transition year from the eclipses being in your 1st and 7th houses in Cancer and Capricorn into your 12th and 6th houses of Gemini and Sagittarius. So things will start to move from self and partner into daily routine and physical well-being and mental well-being as well. So January 10th, there is a lunar eclipse at 20 degrees Cancer. This is a high point, a culmination, the final culmination for things to come to a head regarding your self-identity and anything that's been building up for the past 6 months there. On June 5th, there is a lunar eclipse, another full moon at 15 degrees of Sagittarius. So this June is the first high point in a series of completion or culmination points in your Sagittarius 6th house of health, coworkers, or daily routine. On June 21st, there is a solar eclipse, a new moon at 0 degrees Cancer, a final time for you to begin something new that you want to carry forth for the next 6 months that may be kind of unpredictable, and you want to ground in intention regarding yourself, your physical body, or your identity. On July 5th, there is a lunar eclipse at 13 degrees Capricorn, a full moon, a final culmination time or point of completion for a chapter of relationships for you. And then the new cycle firmly begins on November 30th with a lunar eclipse, a full moon at 8 degrees Gemini, a culmination in terms of that health, physical body, coworkers area of your life. And December 14th, there is a total solar eclipse, a new moon at 23 degrees of Sagittarius, which will involve a full high point, a powerful time of release in your regarding self-undoing, exile, meditative states, psychology, psychotherapy, things like that. It's a good time to let go of a chapter for that. And then on December 14th, there is a total solar eclipse, a potent full moon at 23 degrees of Sagittarius, which is a great time to ground yourself for the new things coming in terms of your health, daily routine, or with coworkers. So with that being said, and the deep bonds we share with others being the focalized point from 2020 for you this year, let's look at what 3 tarot cards are going to represent the first part, second part, and third part of 2020. So the first card for 2020 in the first third, we have the 6 of Cups, which often relates to nostalgia or a feeling of emotional fulfillment based on the past. So during this first part of 2020, you're probably feeling pretty content and calm, looking upon what has filled you up in relationships so far. The second part of 2020, the middle third, we have the 4 of Cups reversed, which generally involves feeling unsatiable, grumpy about not having enough, or feeling like you're emotionally unfulfilled. So the middle part of 2020 could leave you with an opening in relationships. Maybe a relationship has ended and you're in a gateway for a new one, and you're feeling that openness towards not being emotionally filled. And the final card that we have for the last part of 2020 is the moon inverted. And with the moon being the difference between dreams and reality, the discernment between what is real and what is an imaginary form, this end of the year is asking you to question that. Question what is real in your life. Question what you are lying to yourself about being something that you're going after versus what actual self-sabotage is happening. And that really resonates with the eclipses in your 12th and 6th houses. How do you really need to take care of yourself versus what are your self-sabotaging habits? So with that being said, let's do a head, body, heart spread with the Work Your Light Oracle deck. So for the head card, we have don't dim to fit in. How are you dimming your light in order to fit in? This is relating to how do you subdue your personal thoughts, and how do you quell how you actually think that you need to be in order to mentally ascribe to other paradigms. Rethink that this year. For the body card, we have Lemuria, creating heaven on earth, it's happening. This is asking you to create the life and the environment that actually supports you. What seeds do you need to plant for your home? What carries you in order to physically sustain the ideal life in abundant manifestations? And finally, for the heart card, we have Akasha, your guidance is divinely guided. This could definitely be a confusing year of a gateway opening with new relationships kind of opening because old ones have closed. So this is asking you to trust that the story is written for you to play out. There is a divine plan, and even if you feel lost along the way, it's not as if you're just hanging out there. There is support there for you. Finally, let's pull a Law of Attraction card to see what guidance is there for Cancer risings on what to attract for this year. I want continual joyous growth. I am a growth-seeking being, and it is exhilarating to remember that expansion is not only natural, but inevitable. I love knowing that joy is simply a choice, so since my expansion is inevitable, I choose to have it in joy. This is beautiful because with old things closing down, there's a huge breakthrough gateway for the new. And it's your choice to decide for that exploration to be one of joy and appreciation and excitement for what is unwritten, instead of holding on to the old nostalgically. Lean into the new beginnings and let go of familiar discomfort, because familiar does not diminish the fact that it might be uncomfortable. So with that being said, I hope this was helpful. Like, subscribe, do all the things. If you did find it helpful, I do offer private astrology consultations down below. I would love to read for Cancer risings. Cancers are my favorites, like any placement. I say this all the time. I'm not just saying this here. And I will see you in the next video.